Hello people, it's your boy Usman back again with another video. Just want to say, obviously, it's clear that man doesn't care about international break because I've given no updates whatsoever, so I apologise for that. Just want to say quick, very late, I'm Asian, allow me, Eid Mubarak to all the homies that showed love throughout this period of time that I've been recording these videos, and to anyone else who's been giving hate, just Eid Mubarak to everyone basically. And also, if you haven't, check out my brother Nasheed, the link to that would be in the description. But yeah, show him some love also because we've worked very hard on that. Anyways, going on to this, it's the preview to Manchester United v Stoke, just to touch up on the international break. As you clearly can tell, I don't give a damn because I've not updated anyone, but what I will say is some of the United players have been absolutely on fire. That man Romelu Lukaku getting 4 goals in 2 games, one being a hat-trick and the other one being a very crucial late winner, for Belgium. For those of you that don't know who he plays for, I think it was against Greece. Anyways, the ball came in from wide, he glanced header, job done. Something it's just another sort of indication that Lukaku, if he gets good service, which is very rare in this Man United team, he will put the ball in the back of the net. And that's not me being harsh on the players. I just think if he was to get better service, we'd actually score a lot more goals because he's an absolute flipping tank in the air. Also, that man Rashford getting an important goal for England. I don't really remember who they're playing against. I think it was some dead team, that's all I know. It was a 2-1 win. It was an absolute beautiful goal, 2-1, and Rashford from, I don't know, is that 55th minute, 60th minute, he hits it from 20 yards, it dips like Cristiano Ronaldo-esque into the bottom corner. It was an absolute beautiful strike. Does it really have a bearing on Manchester United Football Club? To be honest, not really, but what I will say is it does give the players confidence, and it continues their fine form thus far in the season, and it's just good to obviously bring them back with some sort of good form, going back into the Premier League game. Also, clean sheets for De Gea, not hard when you're playing, I think it was Gibraltar with that, the slapped it in there, probably even touched ball. And also Romero getting a clean sheet, not that it makes any difference because he can only have one goalkeeper. I think Blind got a couple of assists in their 3-1 victory as well for Holland. Something that definitely needs to improve in my personal opinion for Blind. I think defensively he's a pretty solid player, but going forward I just don't think he's quick enough to keep up with the play. It's not very easy when you've got Martial or Rashford on that wing. It's not easy to keep up the play, but we need people to be able to get the ball in from wide, especially the fullbacks, given the system Jones is playing. Regarding the fullback situation in general, just reading that Luke Shaw is actually in contention for a start, so that's obviously good news. Knowing Jersey, he won't play him. However, at least he's back in the fall and hopefully he can get back to full match fitness. Yeah, regarding the international break, it doesn't really have much of a bearing, but it does give our players the opportunity to continue the great form. So obviously I'm happy with the fact that some of our strikers are scoring. That's the most important thing. Anyways, talking about the game against Stoke City, first and foremost, last season I was absolutely peed off when we drew 1-1 to Stoke on both occasions, but there was that occasion when Joe Allen got that flipping dead goal. I think he hit the crossbar or something when he was canning about, and it was a rebound, 81st minute or whatever minute it was, something late on in the game, when we absolutely peppered the goal and we couldn't put the ball into the net. Fingers crossed, we have learned from last season. It does seem that we have obviously improved from last season, make no mistake about it. However, what it shows to me is that Stoke are definitely a team that shouldn't be taken lightly. Yes, I understand they tend to finish mid-season, but for me, as the notion is goes, can you do it on a cold night at Stoke? It's not there for no reason. It's notoriously a very tricky ground to go to, so make no mistake about it, this is a very difficult fixture for any team in the Premier League. Obviously everyone tends to take Stoke away as a caution. It's just a flipping thing, innit? But what I will say is obviously we're going into the game with fine form, so I'm a bit more confident than I normally would be. We haven't conceded yet. Stoke tend to be playing on the break. We saw what they're capable of against Arsenal. Arsenal pretty much dominated the whole game. I don't know how Arsenal they come out of the game with a victory. However, Stoke dug in deep and they got the victory. In the end, obviously that man Hesse or Jesse, however you pronounce it, getting the goal. For me personally, I don't have a clue how to flipping sign him. Absolutely phenomenal player for, well, his calibre in comparison to the others at Stoke is just far from the flipping between. Yeah, so they obviously got a couple of players, but let's talk about Man United. It's very easy for us to say, oh, let's play the exact same 11. I think Jose has the ability to obviously continue to play the same couple of players. Like I said, he doesn't tend to rotate his teams consistently enough. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. The reason it's a good thing, obviously, gives the players a bit of opportunity to have a run in the team. So players like Martial and Rashford, yes, I understand Rashford's played 2 and then Martial's come in. Hopefully he does keep Martial in the team because, like I said, I don't want Martial to be dropped after one game. I know it's not really a dropping, but he's fully fresh. He hasn't really played an international break, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he got selected. So if anything, Martial will be more than ready to go. But yeah, what I'm trying to get is we might be become a bit predictable. That's sort of my only concern. Because the thing is, with having Mata on that right wing, and I'm not to pick out Mata, obviously it'll be the same with everyone else. It's just a very similar pattern of playing against Leicester. I felt like we got a bit unstuck. Yes, I understand we ended up winning the game, but for me that came from a set piece. That didn't come from open play. That wasn't because we broke them down. It was just a minor error from one of the defenders leaving Rashford open. It wasn't really individual brilliance or anything like that. So my only concern is coming from the Leicester game is the fact that we were very predictable, especially in the second half. It was basically get the ball to Mata coming in field, Valencia overlapping, play the ball down to Valencia trying to cross it and not beating the first man. And it's just the same sort of thing, the same down the left flank. We were trying to go down the middle as well. It was just the same patterns of play. You know, I want to see a bit of variety in the attacking play. Yes, I understand that we don't potentially have the players to obviously mix it up consistently. However, it would be nice to see just Jose experiment with slightly, you know, there are a couple of options we do have. Obviously, Herrera's not played a game yet. I'm not really sure why. However, it has worked wonders with Mkhitaryan in that number 10, and I'm completely behind that because Mkhitaryan in that number 10 flourishes. However, just to mix things up, you know, you can obviously alter it a bit. Maybe put Mkhitaryan on the right, bring Mata out the team, put Herrera in. That's one option. Obviously, the obvious option is taking the Mata off and putting Rashford and Martial on both wings. That would be absolutely fantastic to see. The only issue with that is if we don't actually go ahead like we haven't done consistently enough. You know, we don't really have many options off the bench. Yes, Mata and Lingard can come off the bench, but are they really game changers? I think Mata potentially could be a game changer off the bench, as he has proven in previous seasons. However, it's just not the same impact as a Rashford or Martial in the dying embers of a game coming off when tired legs are available. Obviously, that sheer pace is been causing a threat this season. So, you know, I can see from both perspectives. People saying don't change something that's not broken, and that's something that I've kind of echoed in the first 3 games. It's just my only concern that we might become a bit predictable. But bearing that in mind, I'll be up for any sort of situation. So either sort of choices what Jose makes, I'll be completely behind it. To be honest, if worst comes to worst, I'd just go with the exact same team and obviously make a substitution at half time if it does seem like we become a bit predictable and Stoke just tend to be soaking up all the pressure. And obviously, you know, not breaking basically what Leicester did. So my main concerns going into this game is the fact that Stoke did really well against Arsenal. Yes, I understand their goal was peppered, and Arsenal definitely should have won that game, no mistake about it. Yes, that is me praising Arsenal for a change. So there is a fragility in the defence, so to speak. The defence isn't all that. However, their ability on the break is something that I'm a bit worried about. I'm not going to lie, because obviously they've got that man Shaqiri, Jesse as well, and Peter Crouch up front. But no, they've got decent players on the wings, and so it's something that we do need to be wary of. However, talking about ourselves first and foremost, our teams have been phenomenal. That man Bailly has been absolute clinical in the defensive sort of parts. You know, no one's actually been even get close to our net at some occasions because he's been an absolute brick wall, and it has helped, to be fair, having Jones alongside him, who's not injured and has been phenomenal also. So regarding their ability to hit us on the break, I'm not that worried, mainly because Matic is in front of him. Everyone's in good shape. Everyone's fit basically. So, you know, if we continue to go at the sort of tempo and intensity that we have done in prior games, I honestly can't see anything but a Manchester United win, to be honest with you. Only obviously threat is them on the counter, but like I said, we've got the ability to nullify their counter. We've got the players there, Matic, Bailey, Jones, etc. Jones actually didn't get injured for England. He was phenomenal for England as well, so that's obviously another boost for ourselves. So it's obviously good to have players in form. But yeah, just regarding my lineup in general, I'm just going to go for I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to go for the exact same team. Like I said, my only sort of concern is the fact that we might be a bit predictable. However, I'm going to keep with Mata on the right because I don't think he deserves to be dropped, and I'm going to keep Martial on the left. Again, I don't feel like he should be dropped. I know Rashford got that goal on the weekend, but I just think Martial needs a running game as well, and it's always nice to have Rashford come off the bench just to that bit of threat in the final third, in the last embers of the flipping game. But yeah, regarding the way I want us to play, it's important that we use the space on the wings effectively, because most teams are clearly aware that Man United are absolutely dominant in the middle of the park. So what they're going to do is they're going to pack the midfield. It's flipping no-brainer. They're going to pack the middle of the park. They're going to try to send us down the wing, because at the moment we haven't been fantastic crossing the ball. So if any team's got any common sense, send Man United down the wing. They shouldn't really be causing that much threat from there, because they don't currently have the ability to whip a ball in. Hopefully that's something that changes. But for me personally, I feel like Valencia and Blaine need to do more Valencia, because he has the capabilities of going past his man with absolute ease, and he seems to do it whenever the flip he wants. So I want to see Valencia mixing his runs up instead of going down the wing every single flipping time. I want to see him coming into the middle of the park and perhaps swapping with Mata on occasion. So instead of Mata coming inside and Valencia going down the right, I want to see Mata stay on the right and Valencia making that run inside, just a sort of like a third man run. So if Valencia was to run inside, Mata plays the ball to Mkhitaryan, Mkhitaryan plays it through to Valencia, who would be carrying on his run, if that makes sense. And then Valencia would be pretty much in on goal because he is a fucking beast, basically. Sorry to swear, but I just can't help myself. He's an absolute tank. He can do what the hell he wants. He has got capabilities of getting through. He's got the pace and power to obviously make that kind of sort of movement through. I just feel like he needs to do more for me in the final third. You got to remember, he was actually a winger, so for me, he should be doing more, trying to get more goals as well. Just get into final third, though, he can actually threaten the flipping goal a bit more. At the moment, he's just going down the wing. He's staying on that touchline, stopping and just trying to beat his man. It's too predictable for me. I want to see him mixing up, and that also goes for the other players in the middle of the park. I want to see more interchange play. Mata and Mkhitaryan in particular, for me, need to interchange play a lot more. Yes, Mkhitaryan for me at the moment has been really good. However, I think he can definitely go to another gear and another level. And that's exactly the same with Juan Mata. They have the capabilities to unlock any defense on the given day. However, I just think there needs to be more interchange of plays and there needs to be more fluid movement in and behind Lukaku, because that will obviously favour him. Also, just gives other players like Pogba as well more opportunities to progress through the pitch. Just dragging defenders away and out of their natural positions is something that's really important in football in general, and that's something that we need to do a lot more. I found that in against Leicester, there was a lot of times that we wanted the ball to feet. I really want the players to try running behind. Mata does actually run in behind quite a lot, even if it's just to drag a defender so Pogba and Mickey can pick up the spaces in and around the box. That's kind of what we need to see them, so they can obviously put the killer pass in for Lukaku. Obviously, I've touched on I've touched on Stoke quite a lot already. So yeah, regarding their sort of threats going forward, I've already mentioned it. Shaqiri and that man Jesse, how we pronounce it. Joe Allen's obviously been fantastic against us in the last couple of games. Darren Fletcher is also at their club. Another player that I was quite interested in, well, I won't say interested, but they signed Wimmer, which I think is a phenomenal signing for them. Obviously from Spurs, he's a very good centre-back, solid player, and also they have got Zuma as well, so a good centre-back partnership there. So they have got obviously a decent team. However, like I said, I feel like I'm very confident. I feel very confident going into this game. I just don't think it's a game that we should be dropping points in, not because it's Stoke City, just genuinely because they're a decent team at the moment. I don't feel like they've actually hit full flow yet. They've got a couple of players that can cause a threat, but like I said, I just don't think the players have gelled to the level that obviously Mark Hughes would want them. So I'm going to put my neck out on the line. I'm going to say we're going to continue our fantastic run in defence, and I'm going to go for 2-0 Manchester United. I'm going to say goals from Mkhitaryan to finally break his duck, and also a goal from Lukaku. So if you got fancy football, buy them two players, because Usman knows best. Yeah, regarding everything I've said in this video, by all means, just, you know, give your opinions on what you think about the game against Stoke. Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? Drop a like, obviously. If you're new, feel free to share and subscribe, and also drop your score predictions, because it would be nice to see what you guys think. Also, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed my take on what I think is going to happen against Stoke. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week flipping end, or the week, should I say. It's been your boy Usman. Come on, United. Come on!